Golfers are forever giving each other helpful advice, and sometimes that's right on the money, sometimes not so much. Every piece of advice that you give is going to conjure up an image of the person who's receiving it, and then they'll interpret that in their own way and then put that into their golf swing. Here's an example. When I was younger, I was always told that I needed to hit through the golf ball. In today's video, we're going to find out why that wasn't such great advice because of the way I interpreted it. Maybe the advice was given from a person who understood what they were saying but didn't quite work out. Maybe that's never happened to you. Hi, I'm Peter Knight. I've created this channel, Peter Knight Golf, to help you play your best golf. And if you watch these videos, you'll find that it'll help to move your golf forward and have you playing the best golf you've ever played. Let's have a look at today's video and find out what that piece of advice was and how do we improve on it. Along with plenty of other interesting advice I was given when I first started to play golf was this notion that I had to hit through the ball. Now, when I think about that, it sort of conjures up images of trying to direct a force that's going toward the ball or toward the target. When I do that, if my thought is on that idea of directing force towards the target, it's very easy for me to overuse my hands and make it really easy for me to hit a little bit behind the ball or even scoop and have a scooping pattern in my swing, neither of which I want. If I want the lowest point of my swing to be in front of the ball when I'm hitting my iron shots, then that thought of trying to drive the club head forward is not going to allow me to achieve it. It's going to move that low point back, in which case I'm likely to mishit my shots a little bit. So how should the force work in the golf swing? If I illustrate with a bottle of water here, take the lid off it. If I'm swinging and try and make the water, say, go toward the target, a little bit will come out, but not much. So I've still got, 3/4 of the water in here. I won't tip it upside down, but if I tip it upside down, the water will come out, at a certain speed. But if I hold the bottle and then make a golf swing type movement, watch what happens to the water. So you notice that it came out, the bottle's almost empty now, but the water when it came out fanned out, and most of it was going out of the bottle in the direction that the bottle was pointed, and that's the key thing. So I didn't push the water out, force pulled the water out. Now if we think of the golf swing, imagine that the shaft itself is full of water, and when I swing the club back and through, I'm trying to create a force, we as golfers are trying to create a force that makes that water pull out of the shaft down through impact. So what that means is that when I strike the ball, the force is actually going toward the ground, into the ground. That's not chopping down on it, that's the force going along the shaft and into the ground. So when I'm swinging the club, my job is to create a force going out this way. So when I swing the club down to here, the force is still going out this way. I get to impact, the force is going out this way. When I get to here, the force is pretty much finished, but it's still going this way, and then I'll quietly get to the end of my swing. If you find that you're following through and your follow through is quite violent, you're trying to direct the force through toward the target and you sort of keep on accelerating through to the end, that's not so good for your back, it's definitely not good for your golf game. So find a way to get that feeling, even using a bottle as I did, and get the feeling that the force is actually going out away from you during the swing. I know that sounds incorrect, but it's actually the same force that, say, an Olympic hammer thrower would use, where the force is going along the wire to the hammer, and then the hammer is going to fly off in whichever direction it's pointed when the hammer thrower lets go. It doesn't move in an arc, it doesn't swing around, it just flies straight. Same idea of force. In fact, it works the same with any implement. So practice that. Notice how the club meets the ground and meets the ball when you do it. Practice it with slow swings, build up the speed of the swing, and you'll find that your ball striking will really start to improve a lot.